Unveiling the shroud of mystery, we delve into the world of Skull and Bones, a secret society born out of Yale University in 1832. A society so secretive it's shrouded in myth, speculation and a fair bit of intrigue. This isn't your everyday club. This is an exclusive fraternity, a league of its own, that has been the subject of speculation for almost 2 centuries. The Skull and Bones Society, also known simply as Bones, is said to have been established by William Huntington Russell and Alphonso Taft, who would later become the Secretary of War under President Ulysses S. Grant. The society, from its inception, has been characterized by its ritualistic practices and a membership list teeming with influential figures from various walks of life. The Bonesmen, as members are often called, are said to be selected in their junior year at Yale, and once you're in for life. The society is known to select individuals who show promise of becoming influential figures in the future. Over the years, its members have reportedly ranged from prominent businessmen and politicians to influential figures in the arts and sciences. But what is the purpose of Skull and Bones? Well, that's where things get a bit murky. The society's activities and rituals are a closely guarded secret, known only to its members. This secrecy has led to much speculation about its true purpose and the extent of its influence. The Society's meeting place, known as the Tomb, is a windowless sandstone building on Yale's campus. Little is known about what transpires within its walls. Rumours and theories abound, but the Society has remained tight-lipped, further fueling the intrigue surrounding it. The exclusivity and secrecy of Skull and Bones have made it a ripe subject for conspiracy theories. Some claim it's a breeding ground for the world's power brokers, a sort of incubator for the future elite. Others suggest a more sinister purpose, alleging that the society plays a pivotal role in manipulating world events. As we pull back the veil, a question emerges: who are the Bonesmen? Among the whispered names of Bonesmen, 2 stand out: George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush. Yes, the same Bushes who held the highest office in the United States. Their connection to the Skull and Bones Society, an exclusive club shrouded in mystery and secrecy, has sparked intrigue and speculation for decades. Both George H.W. Bush and his son, George W. Bush, were students at Yale University, the birthplace of Skull and Bones. The society, known for its rituals and exclusivity, has been alleged to be a breeding ground for some of the most influential figures in American society. But what does this mean for the Bushes? The elder Bush, George H.W., is said to have been initiated into the society in the year 1948. Fast forward to the early 70s, and his son, George W., followed in his father's footsteps, becoming a Bonesman. Their involvement with the society has led some to suggest that their political successes, including their ascents to the presidency, were not merely a result of their own merit, but were influenced or even orchestrated by their connections within Skull and Bones. The implications of this are immense. If true, the society's influence reaches beyond the confines of Yale and into the heart of American politics. It suggests that Skull and Bones, with its roster of influential members, could potentially shape the future of not just its members, but also the nation and, by extension, the world. But let's take a step back. What evidence do we have of the Bushes' involvement in Skull and Bones? Well, it's difficult to say. After all, the society is shrouded in secrecy. Its members, known as Bonesmen, are sworn to silence, and its rituals are performed behind closed doors. Any records of membership are kept under lock and key, making it challenging to prove or disprove the Bushes' association definitively. However, both Bushes have never outright denied their involvement. In fact, during a presidential debate in 2004, George W. Bush acknowledged his membership, albeit in a roundabout way, when questioned about it. This, paired with historical accounts and anecdotal evidence, lends some credence to the claim that they were indeed part of Skull and Bones. But what does this mean? Is the Bush family's rise to political power a result of their own hard work and ambition, or is it a product of their association with Skull and Bones? Could their political decisions have been influenced by the society's alleged agenda? Or are these just conspiracy theories spun by those looking for hidden connections and secret societies? As we delve further into the world of Skull and Bones and its alleged influence on world affairs, It's essential to keep an open mind. Could it be mere coincidence, or is there more to the Bushbones connection than meets the eye? From the shadows, conspiracy theories emerge, painting Skull and Bones as puppeteers on the world stage. Let's delve into the murky labyrinth of speculation, where Skull and Bones is often portrayed as a key player in manipulating global events. The society, shrouded in secrecy, has been accused of pulling the strings of world politics from behind a thick curtain of mystery. The question is, how much of this is based on fact, and how much is the product of an overactive imagination? Let's start with the most pervasive theory, that Skull and Bones, with its influential members, is part of an elite group that seeks to control the world through secret agendas and clandestine networks. Sounds like the plot of a Hollywood thriller, doesn't it? Yet many believe it to be true. They argue that the society's members, sprinkled across various fields, are strategically positioned to influence world events. So, where do the Bushes fit into this web of conspiracy? Well, according to some theorists, the Bush family's involvement in Skull and Bones helped shape their political futures. They suggest that the society's connections provided the Bushes with a leg up in politics, paving their way to the White House. It's even suggested that Skull and Bones influenced their decision-making processes once they reached the Oval Office. These theories, while intriguing, are laced with speculation. They rely heavily on the society's secrecy and the undeniable influence of its members. Yet they lack concrete evidence linking Skull and Bones directly to these world-shaping events. But the theories persist. Some suggest that Skull and Bones is part of a larger network of secret societies, all working together towards a new world order. Others believe that the society has its fingers in every major political pie, from the United Nations to the World Bank. The Bush family, with their Skull and Bones connections, are often at the center of these theories. Critics argue that their rise to political power and their decisions while in office were all orchestrated by the society. They point to the Iraq War, the War on Terror, and even the financial crisis of 2008 as evidence of Skull and Bones manipulation. Yet, these theories, while compelling, are shrouded in conjecture and speculation. They point to correlations, but correlation, as we know, does not equate to causation. The secretive nature of Skull and Bones, coupled with the influence of its members, makes it a ripe target for conspiracy theories. Yet, without concrete evidence, these theories remain in the realm of speculation. So we're left with a question that perhaps we will never be able to definitively answer. Is Skull and Bones truly a master manipulator, or are these theories born out of fear and misunderstanding? The power of Skull and Bones is undeniable, but how far does their influence truly reach? The Skull and Bones Society, with its long-standing history and enigmatic rituals, has been a magnet for speculations about its influence, particularly on its members' lives. And when it comes to the Bush family, the whispers grow louder. The question we find ourselves grappling with is, how deep do the roots of this secret society reach into the fertile soil of American politics? George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush, both Yale graduates and both presidents of the United States, were reportedly members of Skull and Bones. This establishes an intriguing connection, a thread that weaves through generations, from the hallowed halls of Yale to the corridors of the White House. Is it possible that Skull and Bones, this secretive fraternity, could have been a stepping stone on the Bush's path to political power? It's worth considering the nature of the society itself. With a select membership of only 15 per year, it's a veritable who's who of the American elite, including captains of industry, financial magnates, and political heavyweights. The society is a cradle of connections, a network that could potentially provide its members with unprecedented opportunities and advantages. Could the Bushes have leveraged this network in their political careers, or is this merely an illusion, a tantalizing theory for those who seek patterns in the shadows? The influence of Skull and Bones could also extend beyond mere networking. Critics suggest that the society's ethos, its traditions and its rituals could shape its members' worldviews, subtly influencing their decision-making processes. If so, could the Bush's policies and decisions have been, in some way, influenced by their bonesman training? Or is this another leap of faith, a step too far into the realm of conjecture? The answer, as always with secret societies, remains elusive. The Skull and Bones Society, shrouded in secrecy, offers no answers, and the Bushes themselves have been reticent about their involvement. We are left to ponder, to speculate, to connect the dots in a constellation of influence and power. Yet, our speculation should not blind us to the reality of political power. It's a complex machine with countless cogs and gears, each playing a part. To attribute the Bushes' political ascendancy solely to Skull and Bones would be an oversimplification, a reduction of the intricate tapestry of politics to a single thread. The line between fact and fiction blurs, leaving us to wonder, how deep does the Bonesman's influence run? Yes, the Skull and Bones Society is a wellspring of power and influence. Yes, the Bushes were members, but until the society's secrets are laid bare, until the Bushes break their silence, we are left with speculation, with theories, with tantalizing possibilities, influence or illusion. The answer, it seems, is as elusive as the society itself. In the face of these grand conspiracies, skepticism emerges, challenging the claims of Skull and Bones' omnipotence. As riveting as these conspiracy theories might be, they are, at their core, theories. Theories that, while they tickle our fascination for the clandestine, lack concrete evidence. The assertion that the Skull and Bones Society manipulates world events and that the Bush family, as alleged members, were puppets in this grand scheme is compelling, yet speculative. The fact that Skull and Bones is a secret society does not automatically equate to it being a malevolent entity with world-dominating ambitions. It's entirely plausible that it may be nothing more than a college fraternity, albeit an exclusive one. The society's secrecy and rituals, while intriguing, do not provide definitive proof of its alleged global manipulation. In the realm of conspiracy theories, the burden of proof often lies with the accuser. Yet, proving these theories about Skull and Bones is no small feat. The society's secretive nature, coupled with the fact that its members are under no obligation to divulge their affiliations, creates a veil of mystery that is near impossible to penetrate. The alleged ties of the Bush family to Skull and Bones, and the supposed influence this had on their political careers, is another point of contention. Correlation does not imply causation. Just because multiple members of the Bush family were reportedly part of Skull and Bones and later ascended to political prominence, it does not definitively mean one led to the other. It could be coincidental or simply a testament to the family's drive for public service. Moreover, attributing the Bush family's political decisions to the influence of Skull and Bones diminishes their individual agency and oversimplifies the complexities of political decision-making processes. Politics is a multifaceted sphere, influenced by a myriad of factors, not just the alleged machinations of a secret society. In the end, the truth remains elusive, hidden in the shadows of Skull and Bones. As we step back from the world of Skull and Bones, we are left with more questions than answers. We've journeyed through the shadowy corridors of the Skull and Bones Society, a secret enclave established at Yale University in the year 1832. Its hushed rituals, its elite and exclusive membership spanning across various domains of influence, remain shrouded in an enigmatic cloak. We delved into the whispers of the Bush family's involvement, hinting at a lineage of Skull and Bones members that include George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush. A society claimed to be a crucible of connections, a forge for futures, and a launchpad to a realm of influence. We navigated the labyrinth of conspiracy theories, suggesting that Skull and Bones is not merely a university society, but a puppet master pulling the strings of world events and global politics. Claims that even extend to place members like the Bushes at the epicenter of a secret network, an elite group with ambitions of global control. We also examined the perceived influence of the society on the Bush family's political trajectory. Theories that propose the society's connections were a political springboard, maybe even a compass guiding their decisions. Yet, we also acknowledge the skepticism and criticisms that persist. The lack of concrete evidence linking Skull and Bones directly to global manipulation or even to the political decisions of the Bush family. The speculative nature of such claims and the challenge in proving or disproving the reach of secretive organizations. In the end, we are left standing at the edge of a vast abyss of the unknown. The Skull and Bones Society, with its enigmatic existence, continues to spark curiosity, fuel speculation, and inspire a sense of wonder. It is a tantalizing tale of secrecy and influence, a quest for understanding that may forever remain elusive. The mystery of Skull and Bones endures, leaving us to wonder about the unseen forces that may shape our world. Do you ever wonder if the unthinkable could be true? Could the Bush administration have had a hand in the 9/11's attacks? Now, before we delve into this provocative inquiry, let's take a moment to remember the tragic events of that fateful Tuesday in September, the day that forever changed the world as we know it. The day when the twin towers of the World Trade Center crumbled, the Pentagon was hit, and a field in Pennsylvania became an unexpected battleground. That day, thousands lost their lives, and countless more had their worlds turned upside down. It was a day of chaos, confusion, and unimaginable grief, a day that has been etched into the collective memory of humanity. But amidst the rubble and ruin, questions started to arise. Questions that seemed too unthinkable to ask, yet too important to ignore. Could it be possible that the very people entrusted with the safety and security of the nation knew about the impending attacks and did nothing to prevent them? Could they have even played a part in orchestrating them? Conspiracy theories, as you may know, thrive in the shadowy corners of uncertainty and doubt. They feed on our innate desire to make sense of the inexplicable. And the events of September 11th, 2001 were nothing if not inexplicable. So today, we're going to delve into one of the most prominent of these theories, the one that raises the unthinkable question: could the Bush administration have had foreknowledge of, or even been involved in, the 9/11 attacks? It's a question that has sparked heated debates, fueled suspicions, and divided opinions. It's a question that has led to countless investigations, arguments, and theories, and it's a question that we'll be exploring over the next few minutes. We'll be sifting through the claims, the inconsistencies, and the speculations, all in an attempt to separate the wheat from the chaff, the fact from the fiction, the truth from the conspiracy. So buckle up, dear listeners, as we embark on this thrilling journey into the unknown. In the next few minutes, we'll dive into some of the most compelling conspiracy theories around this topic. The Bush administration, a focal point of many conspiracy theories, has been accused of having foreknowledge of the attacks. A bold statement, isn't it? Yet it's a notion that has been the subject of countless debates, books, and documentaries. Let's dive into the heart of this theory. It suggests that key figures within the Bush administration, including then-President George W. Bush himself, were made aware of imminent terrorist attacks on American soil, yet chose not to intervene. The alleged motive behind this shocking claim? Political gain. Some theorists posit that the administration was seeking a pretext to wage war in the Middle East, specifically in Afghanistan and Iraq. The attacks, they argue, provided the perfect justification for military intervention, allowing the administration to pursue its geopolitical goals under the guise of a war on terror. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? The idea that those entrusted with the safety and welfare of a nation could allow such a catastrophic event to unfold, all for political advantage. But where does this theory stem from? A large part of it rests on the perceived inconsistencies and gaps in the official narrative. Skeptics point to a multitude of unanswered questions and seeming contradictions in the 9/11 Commission report. These include the failure to intercept the hijacked planes, the collapse of World Trade Center Building 7, and the alleged foreknowledge of the attacks by certain government officials. The theory also draws on a historical precedent. Some theorists reference Operation Northwoods, a proposed plan by the US Department of Defense in the early 60s to stage terrorist attacks, and blame them on Cuba, as evidence that the government is capable of such deceit. It's important to note that these allegations are, as of yet, unproven. They exist in the realm of speculation, fueled by a distrust of the powers that be and a desire for answers that the official narrative fails to provide. But how could such a theory even begin to take root? We'll delve into that in our next segment, where we explore the seeds of suspicion that have allowed these conspiracy theories to flourish. Stay tuned. For many, the seeds of suspicion were sown by inconsistencies in the official narrative. Let's delve into some of those inconsistencies that have fed the conspiracy theories. One of the most prominent among them revolves around the collapse of World Trade Center Building 7. The building, which wasn't directly hit by an aircraft, fell into its own footprint at freefall speed later that evening. The official explanation was that fires, ignited by debris from the fallen Twin Towers, had caused the building to collapse. However, skeptics argue that a fire could not have caused such a symmetrical and rapid collapse, leading many to suspect a controlled demolition. Then there's the Pentagon strike. The official report states that American Airlines Flight 77, a Boeing 757, crashed into the Pentagon. Yet many skeptics question how a commercial airliner could have maneuvered so precisely at a low altitude, or how it could have left such a small impact hole. They also wonder why the surveillance footage of the strike was never publicly released. And what about the response time of the US Air Force? On any other day, the interception of off-course aircraft is a routine procedure. Yet, on the morning of September 11th, despite multiple hijackings, no fighter jets were scrambled in time to intervene. Critics argue that this delay implies either gross incompetence or, more sinisterly, a stand-down order. Each of these inconsistencies, whether significant or minor, has added fuel to the fire of suspicion. They've given birth to questions that the official narrative seems unable to satisfactorily answer. And as these questions pile up, they sow the seeds of doubt in the minds of many. These discrepancies have led many to question the official story. They've sparked an ongoing debate that has spanned over 2 decades. And they've given rise to a multitude of conspiracy theories, each more intriguing than the last. But as we delve deeper into these theories, it's crucial to remember that at the heart of all this speculation lies a tragic event that changed the course of history forever. In the aftermath of the attacks, conspiracy theories took flight, fueled by these inconsistencies and questions. Theories of all shapes and sizes began to emerge, like a swarm of bees from a disturbed hive. Some were wild and easily dismissible, but others held more weight, raising legitimate questions and causing many to question the official narrative. As these theories spread, they gained traction, transforming from mere whispers in the wind to full-blown debates. The internet, a hotbed for exchanging ideas, played a significant role in this spread. A simple search could yield thousands of results, each one offering a different perspective, a new piece of the puzzle. These theories didn't just exist in isolation, they created communities. Forums, blogs, and social media groups sprang up like mushrooms in the digital forest. People who had once felt alone in their beliefs found others who shared their suspicions. These communities became echo chambers where theories were shared, refined, and amplified. The impact on public perception was profound. Trust in the government, already a delicate flower, began to wilt under the harsh light of these theories. A survey conducted in 2006 found that more than a third of the American public believed that the government either had a hand in the attacks or took no action to stop them because it wanted to go to war in the Middle East. These theories weren't just confined to the United States. They spread across the globe like ripples in a pond. In Japan, a book alleging US government involvement became a bestseller. In the Middle East, many believed that the attacks were a false flag operation, a ploy to justify military intervention. The impact wasn't just limited to perception. The theories seeped into popular culture, appearing in songs, movies, and TV shows. They became a part of the zeitgeist, a mirror reflecting the deep-seated mistrust and fear of the times. These theories, once relegated to the fringes, have now entered the mainstream. The impact of these conspiracy theories reaches far beyond the internet forums and chat rooms where they first took root. These theories have woven themselves into the very fabric of our society, influencing everything from politics to policy and fundamentally altering public trust in government. To fully comprehend the magnitude of this influence, we must first take a step back. The events of September 11th, 2001 were a watershed moment in global history, a tragedy that shocked the world and forever changed the course of the new millennium. In the aftermath, conspiracy theories began to sprout, fueled by inconsistencies in the official narrative and a deep-seated mistrust of authority. These theories, initially confined to the darker corners of the internet, soon found their way into mainstream discourse. They were no longer the province of the fringe, but a topic of conversation at dinner tables, in classrooms, and even within the hallowed halls of government. Their impact on politics is undeniable. They have been used as political ammunition, as tools of division, and as rallying cries for movements built on skepticism and mistrust. They have influenced foreign and domestic policy, shaping the world in ways both subtle and profound. But perhaps their most significant impact has been on public trust in government. These theories have sown seeds of doubt, making the masses question the integrity and honesty of their leaders. This erosion of trust has far-reaching implications, undermining democratic processes and fostering a climate of fear and uncertainty. Despite concerted efforts by scholars, journalists and fact-checkers to debunk these theories, they continue to persist, their allure seemingly undiminished. The human mind, it seems, is drawn to the mysterious, the unexplained, the forbidden. And so these theories continue to captivate, to provoke, to divide. The ripple effects of these theories continue to shape our world. They remind us of the power of narrative, the allure of the unknown, and the deep human need to make sense of the incomprehensible. The impact of these 9/11 conspiracy theories is a testament to the power of belief and the enduring mystery of that fateful September morning. So, what is the truth behind these conspiracy theories? Can we ever know for sure? Unraveling the threads of conspiracy theories is akin to navigating a labyrinth. Each turn leads to another question, another mystery, another apparent inconsistency. The very nature of conspiracy theories is that they are deeply entrenched in skepticism, often founded on grains of truth, then watered by suspicion and allowed to grow in the fertile soil of unanswered questions. Debunking or substantiating these theories is a Herculean task. It requires rigorous investigation, meticulous fact-checking, and above all, the courage to question what we think we know. It's a journey down the rabbit hole where reality and fiction blur and the truth is often elusive. And yet, the pursuit of truth is not in vain. Even in the face of uncertainty, it's important to remember that the quest for understanding is not just about finding clear-cut answers. It's about fostering a culture of inquiry where we're not afraid to question, to doubt, to probe into the depths of the unknown. The 9/11 conspiracy theories, like many others, challenge us to examine the world more closely, to question the narratives we're presented with, to be vigilant against manipulation and misinformation. They remind us that sometimes the world is not as it seems, and that it's our responsibility to seek out the truth, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. But it's also crucial to approach these theories with a healthy dose of skepticism. Not every inconsistency is a sign of conspiracy. Not every unanswered question implies a cover-up. Critical thinking is our best tool in distinguishing fact from fiction, reality from illusion. And so we find ourselves in a perpetual dance with the unknown, constantly questioning, constantly seeking. It's a dance that can be frustrating, even disheartening at times, but it's also a dance that keeps us curious, keeps us questioning, keeps us alive. The quest for truth continues, and perhaps it's in the asking of questions that we find our greatest strength. As we come to a close, let's revisit the key points of contention that we've discussed today. Firstly, we delved into the unthinkable question. Could the Bush administration have had foreknowledge of the September 11th attacks? One of the most prominent theories suggests exactly that. It alleges that the administration or elements within it knew about the impending strikes but did not act to prevent them. The reasons for this alleged inaction range from incompetence to a desire to justify military action in the Middle East, to the most sinister interpretation that it was a deliberate act of self-inflicted harm to further political objectives. We then explored the seeds of suspicion that have sprouted into fully grown conspiracy theories. Numerous inconsistencies in the official version of events have been pointed out and scrutinized. For instance, the speed with which the Twin Towers collapsed, the manner in which they fell, and the unexplained collapse of World Trade Center, Building 7. These anomalies have led many to question whether the official narrative is the whole truth or merely a convenient cover-up. From these seeds of suspicion, a multitude of conspiracy theories have taken flight. Some suggest that the Pentagon was hit by a missile, not a plane. Others posit that the Twin Towers were brought down by a controlled demolition, not by the impact of the planes and the subsequent fires. These theories, while often dismissed as fringe beliefs, have nonetheless gained considerable traction and continue to be debated vigorously. We also examined the impact of these conspiracy theories, which extend far beyond the realm of internet chat rooms and late-night talk shows. They've influenced popular culture, politics, and even academic discourse. They've also caused considerable distress to the victims' families, who've had to contend with the constant rehashing of the events of that tragic day, often accompanied by wild and unfounded speculation. Lastly, we sought to uncover the truth behind these conspiracy theories. We found that while many of them are based on misinterpretations or distortions of the facts, they nonetheless serve a purpose. They highlight the deep-seated distrust that many people have towards official narratives and institutions. They reflect a world in which truth is often elusive and where power and deception are seen to go hand in hand. Whether you believe these theories or not, they undoubtedly highlight a profound distrust in official narratives, a sentiment that continues to resonate around the world. Have you ever wondered if there's a secret group pulling the strings of the global events? Welcome to the fascinating, often bewildering world of conspiracy theories, where whispers of covert operations and clandestine power plays abound. In the heart of this world lies a theory that has captured imaginations for decades: the New World Order. The New World Order isn't a new concept, it's an idea that dates back centuries, painted with broad strokes across the canvas of human history. But in the realm of conspiracy theories, it takes on a different hue. Here, the New World Order is not merely a concept, but a plan. A secretive plan, allegedly crafted by a powerful elite that seeks to establish global domination and control. This theory suggests that there's a clandestine group, a cabal if you will, that manipulates world events from behind the scenes. They're the puppet masters, the architects of chaos and order alike. They pull the strings of governments, corporations and institutions across the globe. Their goal? To create a unified world government where they hold all the power and control. But who are these supposed puppet masters, these architects of a new world order? Well, theories abound, ranging from powerful political families to secretive societies, and even extraterrestrial entities. Each theory is unique in its narrative, yet they all share a common thread: the belief in an influential elite who seek to shape the world according to their vision. This idea of world domination is a common thread in various conspiracy theories, including those involving the Bush family. Yes, the Bush family, of presidential fame. But what could possibly link them to this grandiose plot for global control? Well, that's a tale for another scene. For now, let's immerse ourselves in the labyrinth of the New World Order theory. Let's explore the corridors of power, the shadowy figures, and the alleged plans for global domination. Remember, in the realm of conspiracy theories, nothing is as it seems. But also remember, not everything that glitters is gold. So tread carefully, for the truth is often stranger than fiction. The Bush family, particularly George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush, have been at the center of these theories. In the shadowy world of conspiracy theories, the Bush family holds a prominent place. It's suggested that their actions and policies were not just about leading America, but part of a much larger, hidden agenda. The idea that the Bush family, with its deep roots in American politics and business, could be part of a secretive global elite is not new. It's a theory that has been gathering momentum for decades, fueled by their undeniable power and influence. George H.W. Bush, the patriarch, was president from 1989 to 1993, following a successful term as vice president under Ronald Reagan. His presidency was marked by significant international events, including the end of the Cold War and the Gulf War. Critics suggest these were not just geopolitical happenings, but calculated moves in a clandestine game of global domination. His son, George W. Bush, followed in his footsteps, serving 2 terms as president from 2000 to 2008. His presidency was marked by the controversial Iraq War and the global war on terror. Decisions that conspiracy theorists argue were part of a New World Order's strategic plan. But it's not just their presidencies that are under scrutiny. The Bush family's long history in oil, finance and intelligence circles are said to have given them a unique position to influence world events. It's claimed they used these connections to further the goals of a secret global elite. These conspiracy theories paint a picture of the Bush family as puppet masters, pulling the strings of global politics, shaping international policies and manipulating world events. They suggest the family's influence extends far beyond their presidential terms, reaching into the heart of global power structures. However, it's important to remember that these are just theories. While they offer an intriguing narrative, they often lack concrete evidence. Nevertheless, they continue to captivate the imaginations of many, fueling debates about power, control, and the nature of our world. These theories suggest that the family's influence extends far beyond their presidential terms. How far does the supposed influence of the Bush family extend? This question is a cornerstone of many conspiracy theories surrounding the Bush family's alleged involvement in the New World Order. Now, let's delve into the theories of the Bush family's global influence. The Bush family, particularly during the presidencies of George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush, held an incredible amount of power, not just in the United States, but on the world stage. It is this power and influence that has led many to speculate about their role in shaping international policies and events. These theories suggest that the Bush family's influence was not confined to their presidential terms. Instead, they posit that the family's connections and power extended beyond these years, impacting global affairs significantly. This influence is said to have shaped the geopolitical landscape, steering the world towards the alleged agenda of a new world order. From foreign interventions to economic strategies, the actions and policies of the Bush family have been scrutinized and interpreted as part of a broader plan. The Gulf War, the Iraq War, the war on terror, and various economic policies are often cited as evidence of the Bush family's hand in global events. Theorists also argue that the Bush family's connections in the political, economic and social spheres have allowed them to manipulate world events subtly. They highlight the family's ties to influential organizations, corporations, and political entities, suggesting that these connections enable the family to exert influence even when they are not in the public eye. Yet it's important to remember that these are just theories. While it is undeniable that the Bush family has had a significant impact on world events, the extent of their influence and the intent behind their actions are subjects of much debate. It is here that we find the crux of these theories. The question of the Bush family's influence is not about whether they had power, that is a given. The question is about the nature and extent of that power. The extent of their influence, as per these theories, is a topic of much debate. What evidence do theorists cite to support these claims is a question that often arises in discussions about the New World Order conspiracy theory. A primary source of this evidence, theorists argue, can be found in the speeches and statements made by members of the Bush family. For example, George H.W. Bush, the 41st President of the United States, made several references to a New World Order during his presidency. In his address to a joint session of Congress on September 11, 1990, he spoke of a world where the rule of law supplants the rule of the jungle. He envisioned a world characterized by cooperation among nations, where democracy and freedom would reign supreme. Conspiracy theorists, however, interpret this reference to a New World Order as a thinly veiled admission of a clandestine global control agenda. His son, George W. Bush, the 43rd president, also had his fair share of statements scrutinized by theorists. His advocacy for globalization and international cooperation, they argue, was part of a broader plan to establish global dominance. His speeches during and after the September 11th attacks, in which he called for a global coalition against terrorism, are viewed by some as further evidence of this alleged plan. Theorists also point to the family's long-standing political influence and connections, suggesting that their words carry more weight and are indicative of a larger, hidden agenda. They argue that these speeches and statements, when viewed in conjunction with their political actions and policies, reveal a pattern of intent towards global control. These interpretations, however, often overlook the complexity of international relations and diplomacy. The use of phrases like New World Order or calls for global cooperation are common in political discourse, reflecting the realities of an increasingly interconnected world. They can be seen as attempts to articulate a vision for global peace and stability, rather than as admissions of a secret plot for world domination. In the end, the interpretation of these speeches and statements largely depends on one's perspective. What some see as evidence of a grand conspiracy, others view as the normal language of international politics. But how much of these theories hold water? That's a question worth pondering as we delve deeper into the skepticism and criticism surrounding the New World Order theory. The first point of contention is the lack of concrete evidence. While conspiracy theorists often cite speeches and policies as proof, these are open to interpretation and do not definitively prove the existence of a global domination agenda. A president speaking about a more integrated world, for instance, could be advocating for increased international cooperation, not necessarily revealing a clandestine plot for global control. Moreover, these theories often rely heavily on conjecture and speculation, which are not substantial grounds for a credible argument. For instance, the idea that the Bush family's influence extends beyond their presidential terms, affecting global affairs, is largely speculative. It's an assertion that's hard to prove conclusively. Another criticism of the New World Order theory is its tendency to oversimplify complex international relations. The world is not a chessboard controlled by a single player. It's a complex network of nations, each with their own interests and agendas. To suggest that one group or family could manipulate this intricate web to their advantage is an oversimplification that doesn't take into account the complexities of global politics. Moreover, the theory tends to ignore the checks and balances that exist in democratic societies. These mechanisms are designed to prevent the accumulation of too much power in the hands of a single entity. It's not to say that these systems are foolproof, but they do make the scenario of a single group dominating the world less plausible. Finally, it's important to remember that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The burden of proof lies with those proposing the theory. To date, no definitive, irrefutable evidence has been presented to substantiate the claims of a New World Order orchestrated by the Bush family or any other group. So while the New World Order theory can make for intriguing speculation, it's crucial to approach it with a critical eye. Remember, the burden of proof remains a significant hurdle for these conspiracy theories. These theories, whether true or not, undoubtedly have an impact. But what is it? Diving headfirst into the ocean of public opinion, we find that the New World Order theories have stirred up some rather turbulent waves. They've shaped and shifted perceptions of global politics, casting long shadows of doubt on the motives of international relations. The idea of a secretive group pulling the strings from behind the scenes, of political decisions being made not for the good of the many but for the few, has become embedded in the public consciousness. Trust, as they say, is a delicate thing. Once broken, it can be incredibly hard to rebuild, and these theories have taken a sledgehammer to the trust in our institutions. When people start to believe that their leaders are not acting in their best interests, but are instead puppets in a grander scheme, faith in these institutions begins to crumble. The domino effect of this is a growing skepticism towards international cooperation. After all, if there's a shadowy cabal pulling the strings, then every act of cooperation could be seen as another step towards global domination. Right? But let's pause for a moment. While it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of these theories, we must also recognize the power they hold over our understanding of the world. They shape our views, influence our beliefs, and can even dictate our actions. When we view the world through the lens of these theories, every event, every decision, every act becomes a part of this grand narrative. Yet it's crucial to remember that these theories are just that, theories. They are interpretations of the world, not definitive truths. And while they can help us question and challenge, they can also mislead and misinform. The influence of these theories on our understanding of the world is a testament to their power and perhaps their danger. So, where does this leave us with the New World Order theory? In the course of our exploration, we've walked through the labyrinth of theories surrounding the New World Order, a concept shrouded in mystery and intrigue. This concept alleges a clandestine group's master plan for global domination, a powerful elite pulling the strings behind the world's events. We've dived into the allegations surrounding the Bush family, particularly George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush. Conspiracy theorists suggest that the actions and policies of these two presidents, from foreign interventions to economic strategies, were part of a broader agenda for a new world order. The global influence attributed to the Bush family, extending beyond their presidential terms, has been a significant focal point. The family's connections and power are perceived by some to have shaped international policies and events, influencing the global geopolitical landscape in a way that fuels these conspiracies. We've examined speeches and statements from the Bush family that theorists interpret as subtle nods to a new world order. These utterances, when viewed through the lens of global cooperation and broader diplomatic goals, have been cited as evidence of a hidden agenda. However, we've also acknowledged the skepticism and criticisms that surround New World Order theories. The lack of concrete evidence linking the Bush family directly to a global domination agenda has been a key point of contention. Proving secretive and speculative claims is a challenging endeavor, and we've urged a critical examination and a cautious approach to these theories. We've also looked at the impact and implications of the New World Order theories. They can shape public perceptions of global politics, breed distrust in institutions, and foster skepticism towards international cooperation. The spread of these theories can influence people's understanding of global events, their views on governance and international relations. Now, to the present state of the New World Order theory. Despite the skepticism, these theories continue to persist, fueled by the complexities of global politics and the enigmatic nature of power dynamics. The internet and social media have provided fertile ground for the propagation of these ideas, giving them a life of their own. Yet, it's essential to remember that theories remain theories until proven. While it's tempting to find patterns and connections, it's crucial to distinguish between correlation and causation. A careful, critical and informed approach is key when navigating the murky waters of conspiracy theories. The New World Order theory is a fascinating topic, a complex web of ideas and speculations that challenges our understanding of the world. It's a testament to our relentless quest for knowledge and understanding, a quest that often takes us down unexpected paths. So, as we continue to question, to seek, to explore, let's remember to do so with an open yet discerning mind. For as we delve into the realm of the unknown, we must be ready to question not just the world around us, but our own assumptions and beliefs as well. In the end, the truth may be elusive, but the quest for understanding continues.